Hey there, my name is Bram Kanstein and I've been studying Bitcoin for over 10 years. And a little over a year ago, I started a podcast called Bitcoin for Millennials to educate my generation on the flaws of the fiat money system and to help them understand why Bitcoin is the most important asset to understand and adopt to secure their future. I recently released my 100th episode, and in this video, I will share 7 insights that I've learned from talking to 100 people about Bitcoin. Let's go. 1. Personal development through Bitcoin. My first insight focuses on how Bitcoin influences individuals' perspectives on life and personal development. Through my research and conversations, I've discovered that engaging with Bitcoin leads to a profound shift in perspective. People begin focusing on long-term thinking and financial self-sufficiency, moving away from impulsive consumerism and debt. The process of understanding Bitcoin, self-custody of assets, and the implications of its decentralized nature instill a greater sense of personal responsibility and self-trust. This newfound confidence carries over in other aspects of life. For many, this journey becomes a process of self-improvement, encouraging them to confront their own limitations and challenge their assumptions about money and the world around them. The mindset shift is empowering, as one entrepreneur I spoke to described beautifully. Before Bitcoin, I was caught in a cycle of debt and impulsive purchases. But learning about Bitcoin taught me the value of patience and planning. It changed not just how I save money, but how I approach my life goals. 2. The mind virus effect. My second insight explores what's often called Bitcoin's mind virus effect. Bitcoin spreads as a disruptive idea that challenges established norms and systems, especially concerning money, economics, and finance. People who are curious and begin to ask questions are particularly receptive to it. Once someone understands the principles of Bitcoin, its absolute scarcity, its decentralization, it fundamentally changes the way they view money and finance. One guest told me, "I initially dismissed Bitcoin as just another internet trend, but after a friend insisted I read more, I became obsessed. I couldn't stop researching, questioning, and talking about it. It completely shifted my perspective on finance, money, and freedom." Bitcoin spreads organically because it challenges so many of our fundamental assumptions. It's like uncovering a secret about how the world really works, one that you cannot unsee. This viral nature explains why Bitcoin has grown not just as a technology, but as a global movement. As people become more infected by the Bitcoin mind virus, they often take it upon themselves to educate others. It's a domino effect that has helped Bitcoin grow from an obscure idea released on the internet 15 years ago to a worldwide phenomenon. 3. Challenging the fiat monetary system. Another recurring theme in my conversations was how Bitcoin challenges the existing fiat monetary system. Fiat currencies are issued and controlled by governments and central banks, and their value depends upon forced trust in those institutions. Bitcoin flips this dynamic entirely. One financial expert explained it like this: fiat money is unlimited in supply. Governments can print more whenever they want, which erodes the value of your savings. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is capped at 21 million coins. Its scarcity is hard-coded in its software, and it is transparent. It's a form of money that cannot be manipulated. Bitcoin's absolute scarcity makes it a powerful protector against inflation, an increasingly important feature today. As a decentralized network, it operates without any central control, enabling direct peer-to-peer transactions without any banks or intermediaries. This grants users unprecedented financial freedom while providing a monetary system based on mathematical certainty rather than institutional trust. And this transcends pure economics. It's a philosophical revolution. By replacing centralized control with mathematical certainty, Bitcoin shifts power from institutions back to individuals, challenging systems that have historically concentrated wealth in the hands of the few. 4. Impact on consumption. My fourth insight revolves around how Bitcoin impacts one's relationship with consumerism and material possessions. Many of my guests talked about how adopting Bitcoin helped them escape the trap of consumerism. One guest shared with me, "Before Bitcoin, I'd buy things impulsively. Clothes, gadgets, watches, you name it. But once I started saving in Bitcoin, I realized how much of my spending was pointless. Now, I only buy what I truly need and save the rest in Bitcoin." As individuals learn more about the importance of saving and the potential of Bitcoin as a long-term store of value, they become more mindful of their consumption habits. The idea of stacking sats often replaces the desire to acquire material possessions that hold no long-term value. This shift in mindset helps individuals focus more on long-term goals and personal development and less on fleeting pleasures. 5. Bitcoin as a worldview. For many people, Bitcoin is more than a financial technology. It's become a philosophy that extends far beyond technology and revolves around how they approach their lives. It embodies principles like decentralization, transparency, and individual sovereignty. One guest described it like this: being part of the Bitcoin community feels like being a citizen of a new and improved world. It's not just about using Bitcoin, it's about living by its values and principles. This goes beyond mere financial prosperity to represent a dedication to a set of values and a community. Bitcoin, in this sense, is not just a technology or financial tool, but a worldview, which has deep philosophical and ethical implications for how people organize themselves. People deeply involved with Bitcoin are not just users of the technology. They are participants in a unique and profound social movement that's working toward a fairer, more inclusive financial system. 6. True ownership. My sixth insight highlights the critical concept that money in the bank is not yours. This reveals the reality that when money is held in a traditional bank account, it is not truly owned by the account holder. Instead, the funds are under the bank's control, subject to their policies, government regulations, and the bank's solvency. Banks can freeze accounts, limit withdrawals, or even fail. And what happens when you want to take a significant amount from the bank? They're going to ask you what you're going to use it for. Is that money really yours? One guest recounted a harrowing experience. During a political crisis, my bank blocked access to my funds. That's when I realized how vulnerable I was. Bitcoin gave me a way to secure my money and with that, my freedom. Contrary to banks, Bitcoin offers true self-custody where users can have full control of their assets. You can, by holding your cryptographic key, truly be in possession of the asset, and that ownership is verifiably recorded on Bitcoin's decentralized ledger. This is a significant departure from the current system and offers a level of empowerment that's simply not possible with traditional banking. 7. Self-reflection and ego death. My final insight explores the role of self-reflection and ego death in the Bitcoin journey. This journey often revolves deep self-reflection as people struggle with the profound implications of a decentralized monetary system. This can involve confronting your own biases, preconceptions, and even your ego. The process of understanding Bitcoin can force individuals to question deeply held beliefs about money and power structures, leading to a re-evaluation of their values. A philosopher I interviewed called it ego death. Bitcoin doesn't just challenge the system, it challenges you. It makes you confront your biases and rethink what truly matters. It's a humbling process, but also a liberating one. The idea of ego death, where one's ego is challenged or even dissolved, is a metaphor that some people use to describe this process of profound self-examination. It can be truly humbling to grapple with the implications of Bitcoin, and it often leads to personal growth, inspiring people to live more intentionally and embrace the future with positivity. So, what did I learn from talking to 100 people about Bitcoin? It's not just superior money and not just a superior savings technology, it's also a catalyst for personal growth, a challenge to the status quo, and a gateway to long-term thinking. Bitcoin has something to teach us all. If you enjoyed these insights, let me know in the comments which one resonated most with you. Please like the video and subscribe if you did, and check out my podcast Bitcoin for Millennials, where we cover all these topics and more. Thanks for watching.